Okay, I got another one coming up here. This is the last one.
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Not
Oh,
much. I
I did just want to mention that I'm recording this lesson, so you'll have a VOD, and there's also going to be a stream link to it too, just so you
oh,
immediately have a VOD and you don't have to, like wait for it if there's something you wanted to look back on or anything like that.
so I have to take notes so I
Yeah,
can be lazy. That's what I'm hearing.
yeah, that is a really big advantage I think of having VODs is that you can just go look back really easily. Um, yeah, did you have a specific matchup or something you wanted to talk about today?
Um, I think so. A really common theme is oh, 1 second. Let me X out of this degenerate horse girl game that has taken up more of my life the last 3 days than it definitely should have.
Yeah.
So like a common theme I've noticed is like I'll play against people who like play mid tiers, like Samus, Yoshi, things like that. And like they can tell that like I'm feeling out the matchup and I'm starting to get it. And then they'll be like, time to play Fox. And I'm like, I have two voices in my head when they do that. There's the player who understands they want to win and they're doing what's best for them.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, understandable, have a good day. And then there's the person, like my ego, who's like, why are you gonna be such a coward about this?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, and I think that actually messes with me a little bit, where it's almost like I'm not sure if you ever play any card games or anything like that, where
I
it's like
have
somebody's
not.
playing it's pretty much like somebody's playing there for fun like pet deck, and then like they lose, so they're like, okay, hold up. And they just bust out something that costs more than your card, and you're like, okay, I guess we're doing this now. But
I
it shouldn't be
see.
like that, because because they're Fox and like the Spaceys aren't it's not that polarizing of a matchup at the level I'm at.
Right.
But for some reason I just don't know what to do. And like they could literally probably just stand there with their back to me doing like well spaced bears and up tilts, and I'd probably lose because I'm not gonna run to the other side of the stage and just throw a needle at them. Like
Right.
my brain doesn't let that happen. So like if time's a factor, I guess as much as I hate to looking at the Fox one makes the most sense because they literally like realized I was like figuring out the Samus matchup, and so they just swapped to Fox. And like so they won despite needing to like warm their Fox up because they don't get that in tournament and bracket.
I see. Okay, so the gist of it is like you want to like practice specific or you want to talk about Sheik Fox and like it sounds like you specifically encountered like a secondary fox that kind of like
Yeah.
had some sort of like mental, effect because like obviously nobody likes playing as people's secondaries.
Yeah, especially if like I'm spending the first game thinking to like adapt to like a main because like
Hmm.
like I live in New England. I have to play against like pretty much like every character. I mean, my second week at our locals, I've had to play against like one of the best Bowsers in the country. Like just it's like, I can't prep for everything. I don't have that type of time.
Hmm. Right. Okay. Well, I think that if you don't have the time, working against the top tiers is way better because obviously you're gonna play them more, right?
Yeah.
So that sounds like a good sort of direction to have. A question I do always ask, I feel like when starting lessons is uh do you do you have any like specific goals or anything when you play the game, like long-term goals, or maybe like there's just a specific local player you want to beat or anything like that?
I mean, like Melee's been in my life since I was like a kid, but
Hmm.
like I had a very rocky relationship with it. And I never like tried it seriously until like summer of last year. Just people in my life beforehand weren't very great to me. And like so I've always been around the game, and I just think like when I think about like the players who are either close to top 10 like state PR and stuff like that, where they can kind of just sit down, play the game and have fun again like, with anyone. That's what I want.
Hmm.
I know that's a weird thing to say, but like ultimately winning or at least feeling like you can win is way more fun than just feeling like there's just something fundamentally wrong with like how you're approaching the game or how you're seeing the situation. If
Okay.
that,
That
I
that
don't
that's
know.
a really good goal, I think actually. I saw a study once that showed that they found in chess players that there needed to be a minimum of a 30%. I don't think it was 30 exactly, but it was like somewhere around like a 30% win rate from like the player that was like losing more in order to like maintain, like a interest in the game from both
Hmm.
parties. And like anything less than that, they found that either the person losing or the person winning. I think the person winning, but I could be misremembering. They tended to lose interest, over time. So when I hear of a goal like, I kind of uh I kind of want to, be able to sit down on a setup with anybody and, have an engaging session. I sort of think of somebody who, maybe they want to take, like every one stock the opponent takes, they want to take two, or like maybe they want to win one out of every three games. It's an arbitrary, marker, but just like, as a general idea, I would imagine that somebody in your spot, you'd want to have the tools to be able to sit down, no warm up, no anything, and like do, statistically decently okay against the person, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like I mean, I'm 30, I work full time. I'm like progressing my career, like balancing, yeah, some people balance law school and all that. That's great, but like I can't see myself being the type of person to like if I ever ended up like PR, it would be by almost accident. Like it
Yeah.
just happened. But yeah. But
Yeah, okay, I think that's a good perspective to put this into. I think if that's the case, I think then that what we're going to talk about in this VOD then probably is like what is a really simple way you can go about sort of recreating spots that you can sort of improve on without necessarily, hyper specific practice. Because
mm,
for example, like if you were like, oh, like I'm like locked in, like I want to be so good, like I want to get grandmaster on ranked, like I want to be top one in my scene, I want to be top 100 level, like all these random things, then I feel like my recommendation would probably start to revolve around like, okay, well, you got to practice this and like you got to R wing this and like all of these other, all these other things that are like hyper technical basically. But I think for your case, if you just want to sort of have competitive games with people, then your goal kind of needs to be in playing these games like how do I approach it in a way that allows me to sort of improve without, basically without like some of the tools that a lot of people are using nowadays, to get good fast, quote unquote. Um,
like
what were
I
you gonna
don't
say?
mind Uncle Punch. Oh, I like so I don't mind like practicing like certain things in like Uncle Punch and just being like, okay, well, I'm awful at this at tech chasing. I should practice this.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, if it's like, hey, at this percentage, you need to practice this follow up so you can do an instant up air immediately after down throw against Marth. And if you can't hit that, then you can't even like you're gonna fumble this, and like I'm like I don't know. Vibes are real. Like
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I think there are specific practices you can do that are more general. We can talk about that too.
mm-hmm,
Let's start by talking about this matchup as a whole, and then we'll end, and I'll explain to you some ways that like, because there are times where I feel like that too, where I'm like, wow, I do not want to like look up percents and knockdowns right now, and like I have like a sort of specific general practice routine that I do that I find works for
mm-hmm.
me when I feel that way. But for the moment, let's talk about Sheik Fox, and then we'll sort of get into that after. When you sit down to play this matchup, do you have any specific thought that's going through your head or anything about how you should approach it?
Stay away from stadium, stay away from FD, be mindful of low percent, and try to work Baron more. But after that, not really.
Okay. I think that that's a decent thought process. I think that for me, what I think of there's a period of time where I played Sheik, and the way that I found the most success thinking about it is in Sheik Fox, there is this sort of percent element to it where when you are both at zero and Fox is at zero, especially when Fox is at zero, you literally, he's like an untouchable god that like
Hmm.
you cannot do anything to him, sort of. But you have two saving graces. Your first saving grace is backer. It's a move that like is like impossible to CC punish aside from super specific shine stuff that happens to work well with Cheek's disjoint that like people don't even really do that much. It Sakurai angles sometimes and lets you do bear grab around shine. Like bear is like your first saving grace. So when you see a fox at 0%, there are a lot of different ways you want to sort of work him with bear to get him up to a percent where F tilt knocks down, which I'll just say it's like 25. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. That's not super in my
I
wheelhouse. I think it's
I think
earlier.
my head thought 22, but I also know Falco's knockdown percent is around there too for F tilt, so I don't
Yeah.
remember.
But let's just use 25 as a marker, right? It's good enough. You don't got to be perfect. So
Hmm.
your first saving grace is bear. And your second saving grace is grab. If you just boost grab a fox for sort of this is a sort of weird thing. The lower level meta in this matchup is to just mash as fox, so it's kind of made boost grabbing raw not that good, and you'll kind of see in a lot of sheik players that are up and coming. Except from Zanya is like the only one I really can think of off the top of my head who does it just at random for no reason. You'll kind of see that it's like falling out of meta a bit, and like there are not that many sheik players that are getting good that like are doing a whole lot of boost grab. But if you can somehow force them to play passive with like really good back air walls, throwing out a random boost grab after is very good. Like it can get you some early percent really nicely. Um, so that's like the 0% gameplay sort of. After the 0% gameplay, I think I'm gonna tell you something maybe a little bit different here than I would tell somebody who like wanted to like that want to play 8 hours a day or whatever. Somebody who's like super psychotic basically. Your kind of goal once you get him to knockdown percent is obviously I've at least to knock him down, but you really want like down throw up smash is like the thing for you. If you're not doing true RTC into throw off stage into easy edge guard, then like the sauce for you is going to be down throw up smash versus down throw dash attack. Those two
So
things are like super duper important to get down
my only
and
question
punish.
is, does that work on, can you do attack read with that? Because I'm
You
just
can
thinking about,
so the way dash attack works on the tech chase is you can true dash tech RTC tech rolls, which is like great, and it usually is paired with a reactive F tilt RTC on the tech in place. And the reason for that, and sometimes down tilt, I don't know why they down tilt, but the reason for that is because F tilt is much easier to tech chase with than grab because it's a couple frames faster. Um, and it kind of just matches up with the percent where if they DI in on the F tilt on your tech chase, that you can then you can then still like dash attack the tech rolls and like it just makes it easy basically. It's like a tech chase in that frame tight. Because as you know, I'm sure like the grab tech chase is like a 1 or 2 frame window. So it's very hard to be consistent at. But the tech chase that's really easy to be consistent at is wave dash F tilting and then reacting. Like you wave dash, did they tech in place? No, dash tech. If they, didn't tech in place, then you can just react to the other tech rolls with a dash tech. Um, what is it's like
hmm,
very important to get that down. And then there's also an exception you have to add in where there are going to be times where you want to just down throw up smash. If you watch Kyle Crudo, he is like really good at comboing off down throw up smash to like an insane degree, where like he'll get crazy kills off of it. And I really think if your sort of goal is to like it's kind of weird because like Sheik isn't exactly like the greatest of all time at comboing Fox, but like it is super important in this matchup to sort of make him hurt for getting down thrown.
I,
And like you kind of do that by like you're doing down throw up smash, and then you begin like dash attacking the tech rules. And then what's gonna happen is they're gonna start holding out on them, and then like you kind of got to recognize the spots where it's like, well, I'm gonna now boost grab you for tech rolling. I'm gonna F throw you or something like that, or then you're gonna cross up the dash attack, right? Because if you cross it up and they hold in or they hold out, I'm sorry, then it ends
mhm.
up becoming a hold in DI line that you can just fair them off for.
Yeah. So for DI out, tech roll out, you have to boost grab then, right?
I think that if you do a wave dash. with like a specific angle, you can still what's it called? You can still dash attack it, but you can also just boost grab it. A lot of the times it's fine. If you are closer to the corner, you can do a very non like a very I don't know how to say it, but like a very
Hmm.
non-specific dash attack and it'll kind of auto cross up for you. And all
You,
that is stuff you should definitely try and learn.
yeah, you can use the fact that the ledge stops you as a way to let the back hitbox's dash attack do the
Yeah, it's
damage
a
for you.
very easy
Yeah.
lineup. No
Um,
practice lineup.
no, the question was more or less just because I've always like I've asked some sheiks, I'm like, so when is it okay not to boost grab and to just do a JC grab for safety? Like, and it's like, I don't know, and I'm like, hate you.
Yeah, so you only really don't boost grab tech roll in. That's like the only time you don't boost grab. Is on tech roll in, it's going to give you an extra couple frames to react if you do a JC grab instead because you don't need the extra distance from the boost grab. Other than that, like you never JC. Like literally, that's the only tech roll you JC grab. As like you can also kind of do it in the corner, but Jmu kind of does some specific stuff too, where like he'll like space using JC grab, but it's like not super important to learn. It's just like some weird like niche stuff that I think he kind of subconsciously does maybe or does on purpose. I don't really know. But yeah. Does all that make sense so far for like stuff you would want to learn?
It does. It just it causes some more questions. I'm
Go for it.
now like, huh, so wait, you should just always boost grab. Like I
Mm,
was thinking about like when do I JC grab a Sheik? There's like if Marth DI's out on down throw and you JC grab a Sheik, you get the regrab.
yeah.
I know that. But I can't think of another like I never get good like situations when I should like JC grab, and now I'm wondering if a lot of my tech chases should have to do with the fact that I don't boost grab for them because I don't think I have to.
Yeah, boost grab like the distance that boost grab gives you with Sheik is like super duper
Yeah.
relevant. Like it's it's so much bigger that I would not doubt that if you're constantly JC grabbing tech rolls, that it's costing you in some spots.
No, that makes a lot of sense because do practice tech chasing Fox. Like I have the animations pretty like not great mentally, but honestly, it's get up attack that freaking gets me. Sorry.
Okay, get up attack. So I've actually wanted to mention this. Something that Plup does a lot with Sheik that I think if you sort of feel like you want like kind of a quick fix to things because like you kind of just want to be a player that can sort of put up almost like a good fight, against everyone. Like nobody like, gets bored playing you, you never get steamrolled ever. I think something that would be good to learn and that Plup is the best at out of anybody is jab versus double jabbing mistech.
Mm.
Um, jab versus double jabbing mistech is like a mix of like people kind of don't talk about it anymore because of the crouch RTC, but it's actually really important. And in some spots, like if they don't tap jump out, like you literally can get an F tilt on a DI in. So it's like, I think that if you're seeing a lot of mistech, it would do you a lot of good to start to learn to jab it. And like that sounds counterintuitive because I know people are like, oh, don't jab mistech, don't do it. But it's like actually kind of bad advice. Realistically, the mix-up is jab versus double jab. Um, and
Does this
like
apply? Sorry to cut you off. Does this apply to Falcon too?
yes, if
Just because, like,
anything, this
okay.
is more important against Falcon. And in a theoretical world, you wouldn't do it against Fox, but like you would still do it against Falcon. Like Falcon has no options once you do it. He's like terrible. Like once you jab him, he is so bad. He gets F tilted every time. I've literally seen Plup like jab near him. Like it's crazy. Like there's so many crazy things you get.
They just hold out, like, and that's like, and I always like fail to follow up correctly after.
Yeah, if they're holding out, then you could do something like that jab nair I just mentioned. Also, you can sometimes too you can like double jab and like it's I've seen people double jab too where you do it super late in the animation. Actually, I think I know what your problem is. If you double jab, you need to do it when they're closer to the ground, not when they're high up in the air. If you do it when they're high up in the air, there's a chance they'll just get out despite the double jab. But if
Hmm.
you do it when they're just about to hit the ground, the double jab can act as this sort of like mix up, kind of where they might get accidentally clipped somehow because like maybe like for some reason they were holding down or something like because they thought you were gonna F tilt the mistext, so maybe they're holding down in a way or something, and like it could kind of put them in worse spots where the double jab might clip them. Um, and also like Also, there are times where you'll just get jab F tilt. I don't know what else to say. Like jab F tilt is super annoying for Falcon to deal with.
If they're
Um,
being lazy, you just get it. Like
yeah,
that's why I was told.
yeah, it's actually just a really good check. And then also in all fast follower matchups, never ever doubt that you should sometimes be reading with up smash. It is so broken. If you read with up smash, if they tech roll, it is such a broken move in terms of the end lag. They're not going to even get an opening on you, as long as you like shield or roll or something, or even jump sometimes.
Really?
Yeah.
So like, okay, if I have a feeling that they're just going for like tech in place or miss tech in place, just up smash.
Yes.
Like
Like
I don't
it
have
will. It's
like
life changing.
it covers it essentially makes it a 50-50 at that point.
It does.
Huh.
It's like very very useful to get under your nails actually is to like kind of set up this consistent rhythm where you're reading with up smash a lot and it forces them to tech roll and you're a beast at like dash attacking the tech rolls and like you'll just find that you get a much better punish game much faster.
Yeah. I'm in New England and I like I've said that before. So I play against like I don't play against like the top sheiks in the region often, but I play against a lot of people who play with them often. And
Uh-huh.
like how they talk about the Sheik Fox matchup when they play against them versus like when I play, I'm like, I think we're playing different characters somehow. Like I don't know what's
Yeah.
going on here, buddy. You're crashing out over Sheik as a Fox player, and here I am like I don't know. So
Yeah, that is a kind of a consistent like this sounds weird, but it's just like you have to represent the options that tilt people. It's more about that than the matchup. And like if you're playing as a Sheik player who's like gets really good backers and like sort of move backs a lot, has really good edge guards and like not even perfect tech chases, but just tech chases that like kind of kill you when they guess right. It's like it can feel very tilting as the Fox player because Sheik is really thin and hard to lock down and it can make the matchup feel like a constant game of constantly trying to get at her, only to make a mistake and sort of fall prey to like what feels like a cheap zero to death sometimes.
yeah. But okay. So it seems like my approach to a matchup, like it's not as much RTC, it's just more about getting actual tech chases, like getting better follow-ups and going
Yeah,
for
like
yeah.
an example I think of always is like Cody Schwab, like is like he's the best one of the best players in the world, he's best spacey. Like Cody Schwab does not actually like reaction tech chase that much. Like a lot of his punishes, like people see him get knockdowns and follow up, and they're like, "Oh, he's like great at RTC. Like this guy's the best RTC. He's good at it." But like a lot of the time, you'll see him opt for punishes that like are more so just like call outs on specific ways that people tend to tech and DI, and he'll just like flatline them for it. And you
Mm.
can create that effect with Sheik too. And it really does start with understanding your knockdown percent and then understanding dash attack when to dash attack, when to F tilt, when to up smash, when to jump. The
I
mistech.
feel like my only issue is I've tried to dash tech less because I feel like I panic dash tech a lot to like regain some sense of control, and like that's not good.
Yeah, that is the problem that I think a lot of Sheik players have. Well, we can talk about coping with that. I think that we'll look at the VOD now and
It's
sort of
probably in the VOD.
yeah,
It's one.
exactly. I
I,
think we'll be
I
able to
could
find a good
I
solution.
that's it. I could probably bet decent money that's in the VOD.
Yeah, so we should be able to find this problem, I think. Let's see how this thing's. So we're starting with backer. It was a pretty good starter from you.
Oh,
Um.
are you gonna?
I'm
I
sorry. I forgot to
yeah,
screen share.
that's okay.
Yeah, that's my bad. That's my bad. Uh.
Also, I haven't so I took a probably about roughly like rough 6 month break from Melee and
Uh
I
huh.
only started playing again like last like the beginning of last month.
Uh huh.
So that's kind of like the other weird thing where I'm kind of like yeah. So I it's been a year and a half since I started, but I took a 6 month break. So I'm like, I don't know. Like so it's like some stuff it'll seem like I'm like I know what I'm doing and then it just all just disappears out of
Right.
nowhere. I don't know why.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that a lot of people have that issue because in melee it's like hard to learn every spot. So kind of as like a player, you want to only stick to the spots you know you're good at. In my experience, because this so far is pretty good. I think there might be a consistent theme we're gonna see. I'm just gonna keep watching for a second.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think talking about practicing tech skill will be good too. Make you a bit tighter in some of these spots where you're sort of have a lot of issues moving around. Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, it doesn't help that I worked 6 to 2:30 a.m. and this game I think happened at 6 p.m.
Yeah, that is tough. Yeah, so this is all very scrappy gameplay right now. So I think
Which I'm a fan of, but
yeah, it's kind of impossible to get good at melee playing like this because well, I at least don't know how because it just is really hard to create a consistent feedback loop. Oh, that was sick.
oh, watch this by the way. I remember this.
Wow.
Bye
Yeah, we'll talk about practicing tech skill. It'll help a lot.
bye.
Um. Oh yeah, see, this should have been a boost grab because it's 0 instead of the dash tag.
Yeah, and and it's crazy because I know that like every time I do a low percent dash attack that hits or like makes contact with shield, I'm like, why didn't you just grab?
Right.
Yeah, like I'm not sure if you noticed, but that was a JC.
Yeah. Well, you can't RTC like this anyway. So like, the way the RTC works, the sheik, is you have to be standing. Oh, oh, there it is. You have to be standing in place on the original tech animation. So right here, in order to RTC this, you would have to already, or not already, but you would have had to
I
wave dash here and then reactively click grab.
oh oh that okay, that
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Um. So yeah, we can actually just kind of we can get to talking about tech skill. It's been a bit, and I think that we'll talk about tech skill a bit, and we can also talk a bit about sort of maybe how you could simplify things a bit to not kind of run into that issue of the gameplay being really scrappy, as I think that's gonna work against you if you kind of keep sort of approaching it that way, and it's going to make it hard for you to have like you said that you wanted to have like engaging games, with basically anybody when you sit
Yep.
down on the setup. And I think that makes it particularly hard. But yeah, I just want to give a basic example here of an RTC. First of all, it's basically impossible at 0. In It's complicated, and there's a lot of math on it. There's a Spark video on SSBM tutorials. I'm pretty sure about it. I think it was on SSBM tutorials at least. Um,
I yeah.
But let me just explain. We'll just do 30 just to make it like super duper simple. So what you're going to want to do is, okay, I thought no DI did not go there, but is you're going to want to wave dash into this spot.
Mm-hmm.
And then if he does tech in place, you grab. If he doesn't, you do a really slow boost grab. Like you have a lot of time to react. So if I do down throw, so that one is a tech in place. I am boost grabbing super duper late there. Like really late. Like he's been tech rolling for a long time before I reacted. The only one you need to react fast to is tech in place. So if I just crush RTC super late, I misreacted because of the similar animation. Got it super late. Got it super late. Got it super late.
What's crazy is I'm watching this. I know where the fox is going.
Right. Yeah, and
And
I think
like,
the issue is that you're going about it wrong, where you're not doing this consistent setup. And what's going to happen then is people are going to start doing DIs like, I don't really know if he has an ambiguous DI. Oh, that's pretty ambiguous. DIs like this, and then you have to do a slight wave dash angle to make up for it.
and even like against Marth, because I know I have DI like away, like regrab like really well. I kind of like instantly will go for on habit because I know how good it is, and then I'll get ambiguous and I'll be like, oh, I tried to read instead of react.
Right.
Huh. That alone is yeah. See, I never understood the whole like wave dash forward thing. Nobody explained. Oh, you have to in order to make the distance.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to because the only way to react to tech in place because it's the fastest option is to literally like push grab the moment you see it. And in order for it to reach, right, you have to be there already.
Okay. And so any fox that is like that knows how to do wake up shine, they can just do a wake up shine if they know I'm not close enough.
Yeah, yeah, they can, or like they can like full hop, or like they can do like a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
things if they recognize you're not close
Heck, they
enough.
could even jab,
Yeah,
couldn't they? And like that position, that guy could have just jabbed me. And at higher percent, that's jab up smash.
yeah, right. So when practicing tech chasing, you got to make sure you set up this sort of spacing really like effectively. And there's different ways to set it up. Sometimes you're going to turn around. Sometimes you want to wave dash. Or probably mostly just wave dash. You want to do that wave dash. There's like sorts of different ways you're going to need to depending on the spot because like different hits. So like if I do this dash attack for example, then I have to depend on the hitbox. If he cannot ace down tech, I just want to stand. But if I do like this dash attack, then suddenly like I can't even set it up. So like if I go for an RTC when they're at this range, right? If I could just get the cross up again here, like I can't RTC this, right?
Yeah, you're never getting that.
I'm
Yeah.
just going to get reversal. So what you got to do as the Sheik player is you got to recognize, well, I can't RTC there, but like maybe this you can
Yeah.
because you get the setup. So it's all about the setup. So when talking about practicing the RTC, what I would recommend you do is you just use Uncle Punch combo training. You just go FD. You set this to be invincible. You set it to 20%, and that's it.
Hmm.
And then you can just practice RTCing with that. You would just do wave dash into the RTC. Um, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about is I don't know if
I
you have the newest version of Uncle Punch.
I do. You can go infinite with
Yeah.
it
Oh,
now.
wait, was my Uncle Punch? Wow, that was so weird. How did I get the old menu? Oh, I am still. Oh,
Hmm.
I'm on the wrong build. I don't know how I got this build. I don't know where
Yeah,
my new build is. But uh, yeah, I don't know how I ended up with this build, Uncle Punch. That's my bad. That's so weird. What?
I I've been doing eggs like, and granted, you know, takes a bit for it to actually like show. I've been doing eggs and been trying my best to be mindful of not just using like a strong hitbox, like actually getting the low to the ground right position there. Same with the bear, and like it's definitely been helping. I guess like my thing is I don't know if there's a correct way to practice eggs.
Yeah, so that's actually what I wanted to talk about. So here I have the new version of Uncle Punch. Um, which what this allows you to do is allows you to shrink the eggs in size. You see this? And using
Oh my
this,
god.
you can practice like more precisely moving around the stage. And with Sheik,
So
like it's like really important with Sheik to be like super tight in your movement and stuff. So like using this to like practice spacing, like you want to be able to like early bear the plat, you want to be able to like late fair, you want to be able to juggle with up airs like that. You want to be able to shield drop fair like these low angles. Um, like there's all of these things you want to be able to do. You want to be able to drop through nair them too. Like
the
they're
casual cancel on that.
yeah, like that's something that like you can literally practice and it's like I learned that by using this tool. So there's all these sorts of different like ways you can use the eggs to sort of like just work on, like your basic mechanics in the game. Um, and I highly suggest using them for that. I suggest using this build. I think it's on the GitHub for the Uncle Punch if you just look. I don't know.
Let me just check which one I had because I know I got I know I had the update. I heard there was an update that happened a couple of weeks ago that was like super new, but I'm also I don't know why I'm just very inept when it comes to software stuff.
Hmm.
Like my brain just it doesn't. Yeah, no, I have the old one. I'm on point point 3.1 still.
Okay. Let me.
I
Oh, here
want to
we go. I
say
found it. I found it. Yeah. So mine is behind an update, but I can send you here the thing. And in this, there is also they added a tech teacher, which I don't recommend you use this. I kind of do, but it's because I'm stupid. I kind of think it's actually worse. So they added this tech chase training, which makes it so like you can simply zero in on like these animations here. And I
Yeah,
find
but
that it gives me a naturally faster reaction for some reason. I don't know why, so I suggest you don't use this actually. But it's there, if you find it more fun or maybe more like enjoyable, like just more enjoyable or maybe easier to set up and use. You could also use this tech chase training instead. Has a lot of cool things like invisibility, which I think is pretty neat. Um,
I
yeah.
I just my thing is I feel like you could accidentally, if you've been playing for a long time, it's different, but if you're still kind of getting used to some things, I feel like it could mess up like your reaction time of like finishing your throw animation
Yeah, I
and then
completely
doing
agree with that,
something.
which is why I would not recommend you use this. Another thing too this has, which you can use to practice too, is
Hmm.
I didn't really get to see your edge guards at all, but they added this edge guard training where you can actually turn on all of these different options. I do not know how to edge guard with Sheik though, so
I did that just for like an afternoon, just like against like Falcon and Marth, and I found it helped a lot because Fox, if you know low level Fox, you can kind of just needle snipe them.
yeah,
I seem I get told I use needles a lot more than other Sheiks at my level, which is funny
yeah,
because I
that's
think
really
needles
good.
are
I think
sick.
that's a big problem a lot of Sheik mains have in general. I know I had that problem when I played Sheik where I actually never needle edge guarded, which is like a big problem to have, so it's good that to not have that. But it does seem for me just from the watching your VOD a bit like your biggest issue sort of is not simplifying what you're looking for, and what that's doing is this sort of like showcasing in this extreme way all of these spots that you're not as good at. So like,
Hmm.
for example, like I try to think of something like if I was just like playing melee with something, I was like, wow, I just want to have a fun session of melee. I might do something I was pretty bad at, and like, think an example. I think an example would probably be, um, see, I don't even like think about the out of the box like this enough, which is like kind of a problem of its own. Like, oh, I know, I was literally just talking to somebody about this actually. I can show it. So against Marth, it's pretty good as Fox to cross him up consistently. And okay, good thing the egg is
Hmm.
here, so let me make it this thing. But something that's really hard is it's really hard to cross up into the corner effectively. So maybe if I was sitting down to play a friendly session, something I might work on is doing an early cross up edge cancel nair. I see, but if you could see, like, I kind of don't look as clean now as if I was like, well, I want to practice crossing him up center stage. And if I do
Yeah.
that, I don't even. Okay, I'm not gonna wait for an egg to spawn on there. That's just gonna take forever. So
No.
what I would do if I do this and like I want to show you here like what it looks like to cross them up,
Yeah,
I
I get
look way more clean all of a sudden.
yeah, because like you have to get over that mental block of the edge
Yeah, right.
and
So
like
there's that.
accidentally
I'm
overshoot.
not good at doing that. Like I'm like specifically not good at like overshooting with Fox in the corner. And I think what we're seeing in your games is you're doing a whole lot of things you're not good at. But what I did immediately see at the beginning of the game for things you are good at, and what I actually think you could have done even more of, which is crazy because you were doing it a lot already, is you're pretty good at doing backflip backer, which is a great thing because like I remember when I played Sheik, I came from Sheik as like a Fox main, and it was really hard for me to like learn to backflip backer. I still can't do it because like I'm just not an experienced Sheik player. But you, like, this is something that you specifically know how to do. Um, but maybe something that you're not as good at is like maybe like shield pressuring Fox. So I feel like if we like go into like, you know, just like the basic. Oh wait, this power shield. Well, I saw the word shield and I instantly clicked shields. Where the heck is this? Oh, it's attack on shields. That's why.
I I'm good at backflip stuff because I think backflip like the backflip is sick. Like
Yeah,
that's
it,
it.
it
That's all
is,
there is to it.
and it is sick. But if we look at like a spot like this, right, you're probably not as good, I would imagine, at doing like Saminers. And maybe not as good as like shielding and then doing a drift back there. Maybe not as good as doing like a wavelet cross up. But I see you keeping to go for these things that you're not very good at, which is like, it's great and all, but like, realistically, if like we're talking about it improving at things, you kind of want to get good at it in solo practice and then do it in your games.
I yeah, so With even like Sammy and stuff like that, I feel like the part that I'm actually not great at is the follow up after.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you like do a well spaced bear, you can buffer a run or you can like do something else. And I don't feel like I do that a lot. Even with fair, like I don't fair jab a lot. Like I'll fair somebody's shield and then like do nothing after, even though I have the priority.
Right. And then that's
And
something that you could practice, right? Like, because I think what would happen is, like, if you practice doing stuff like this, so fair jab, fair shield, fair dash back, fair backer, fair Samuel, like all of these things, right? I bet if you practice these things and then you made your game plan going into the session, well, I'm going to be doing like these walling short hop backers, and like then they're going to start shielding them, and then I'm going to start like, pressuring their shield, then like I bet that you would look way stronger. Whereas right now, and this is sort of a general thing, like I'm not even necessarily telling you what to get good at, because I don't really know if I would tell a Sheik player to like learn to be good at shield pressure. I'd probably tell them to avoid those spots if anything, I think.
I was kind of thinking the same thing.
Yeah. Um, but this is more so just an example of how like what I really want to see from you the next time. If we decide to
Hmm.
talk again, I would want to see you sort of playing in this more simplistic way where there's less, opportunities basically for you to like kind of showcase the stuff you don't know, if that makes sense. At least in your tournament games.
Yeah, there is the regional on the 10th.
Hmm.
Um, that I live in living in Boston, it's just kind of like, well, I'd be stupid not to go.
Right.
Because how often do you get to go to a regional and not have to worry about hotel and booking and all that?
Yeah, that's great.
But yeah,
So,
it's good to also,
oh, go for it. Just go for it. Anything
it's
you would say would be helpful.
it's good to just get a. Honestly, this is the stuff that like I kind of already knew, but getting the fill-ins on what I because like there's so many instances where it's like I have really good pattern recognition. I've played RF fighting games. I've played a lot of like games.
Uh huh.
And so like I can tell I'm getting checked and but not knowing why or how creates this frustration loop that like it's weird.
What do you
Eh,
think is specifically like bothering you or says that to you as weird? Would you say?
Well, when everybody's like talking about neutral and talking about like how much she can do against Fox, and I'm like, I don't even know where to correctly stand because
Right.
I I don't want to I don't want to let you get into run because now you have access to running shine. But also, I don't want to be so close that short hop nair is unreactable. I'm like, I don't know where to even stand. Like, and that's like the stuff that I don't feel like you can just learn by practicing. You
Yeah,
gotta talk
I
about it.
completely agree. It's something that you have to learn through basically like people sort of like teaching and like explaining things to you. And like I think for me, because I think I felt that way too for a really long time, and I think what I kind of did is like I uh I had to kind of learn by watching fictions lessons that he uploads to YouTube,
Hmm.
where he uploads like lessons where he talks to people about like basically like every top tier mashup you can think of, and in all those lessons he kind of gives you what he says is like a basic game plan for it. And what I kind of did is I memorized what he said those basic game plans were, and I began to reflect on every decision I make in the game to like as in the through the lens of that game plan, basically, where like is this, something that like could possibly is it does this match up basically with like the idea he put forth? And like when I think about analyzing Sheik Fox, for example, if I'm seeing myself maybe go for something that isn't a grabber, back air, or needle at 0%, then I kind
Hmm.
of feel like I would be out of line from that game plan that Fiction details in his video where he talks about how to play Fox Sheik. Um, and I think that that is like how I personally have overcome that issue of like there are all these variables and I just can't make sense of like, and like people are so bad at giving advice on melee too, so it's just like it's just so overbearing to even like think about like all of like the stupid stuff I've heard like learning the game, and it's just like it's just basically people just lying almost. Like they might as well be lying. Like people's advice is so useless. And I think that the way I have navigated that is by like watching these lessons from like, this super high level player who's like a really, really good communicator and just hearing him explain his understanding of like what are the good positions? Like what is this character looking for against this character, Like what am I looking for? What am I avoiding? And I think fiction does a great job of explaining that.
Yeah, he had a very, very good game just talking about Mark Fox and Battlefield and like how center stage isn't really where you want to be and like explaining platform positioning and why.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah,
He's
it's like
yeah.
I think he is like the straight up greatest melee coach of all time. And I sent you his Sheik vs. Fox lesson, and I think that if you really want to tackle that feeling of the sort of like uncertainty of like, well, there are all these variables just so randomly people are saying all these things. I think what you should do is you should watch this and sort of memorize his understandings of the basics of the matchup
Hmm.
and sort of just start reflecting on the decisions you make in your gameplay through that lens that he offers.
That makes sense. It's interesting because I'm just thinking about, and I think about when I playing against people who I know are just strictly better than me, and I think about scrapping and how that's always a bad idea because they're better than me. And I feel like the games I win when I scrap are just because I'm already better than the person. So
Yeah.
it's like eliminating that from my like just gameplay loop, even if I do honestly just find it really fun.
Yeah, I think that you can get better. And I think there are people who come to mind, not to name any specific names, that I think got pretty good by sort of just vibing it out and like just like scrapping, scrapping, scrapping. But I think the common theme I see was that is they play so many games, like they never even like thought about getting coaching or anything. It's like people who like only want to boot up every day and like they just kind of naturally learn things over time. It's a slow, sort of like tantalizing. Like, it's like so difficult to learn the game that way. But I think the way that because like, I think I was so bad for a long time until I kind of found Fiction's rhetoric on the game, and he like the way he explained things sort of resonated with me, and it felt like I could finally impact the games I was playing instead of it just being this random mess all the time. Um, And I think that if you do kind of want to get to that point fast where like you can just be competitive with all these different people in these games, I think the way you do that is by slowing it down, starting to see things through this lens that he offers and like simplifying to only these couple of spots that are super important in the matchup and getting really good at them.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that is my view. I am unfortunately just about running
Hmm.
out of time here.
Yeah.
Um, Did you have any questions or anything that you would want to talk about? Any
Uh,
like further
Not
explanation or
particularly
anything?
off the. I mean, I feel like I would have to actively like go look at the games myself and ask questions. It's weird because I still feel like even the matchups I feel comfortable in, I still feel like I just get checked on like movement and then I lose.
Yeah,
Like,
I think that in general, if you I guess I didn't talk too much about how I approach the eggs, but I think that the way that I work on movement personally tends to be like I kind of always think of it as like people have their kind of like ticks that they do for movement because like somebody who I think would really define movement, and one of my personal favorite players was Hax Monnier. And he
hmm.
had this very specific sort of movement patterns that he would do, where he would do this really tight dash dance. He would do these shield stops. He would do shield stop laser in place, but also he like had really good wave dash downs and really good dash backs. And like something that I kind of do sometimes is I will just boot up against the 20XX CPU in port 4, which basically is just the vanilla melee CPU with randomized DI, and I will like literally just practice like the basic movement options that I use in a match against that bot, like just like a physical thing on the screen, and sort of just use it to like, kind of just get in the headspace of like, well, I'm playing this game, At the end of the day, like, you're playing to win, and it's about like getting into this headspace of like, these are the things I'm going to be doing as a default while I kind of collect data
Hmm.
on what this person is doing. Um,
That makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's not a super comprehensive thing to tell you, but it does just take time and practice. And I think if you do sort of do your like daily eggs and like go to your locals and like play a bunch of games and like sort of try and think about this thing I've mentioned to you where like you kind of want to find a simple way to think about things that lets you influence the situation and avoid all these other spots you're really not good at, I think you'll begin to see like a massive improvement,
Yeah, yeah, that sounds good.
I think. But
I,
yeah, thanks a lot for talking. We can definitely do
yeah.
this again. You can message me next week
Hmm.
and we can schedule something. You can message me after the regional too if you end up getting VODs from that that you wanted to look at.
Yeah, I'll chat. Yeah, I was gonna say it's New Year's coming up. Like I
Yeah,
don't know like what my life looks
yeah,
like. Uh, but yeah, yeah, we can chat later. I did appreciate this. Just the
yeah, no
also
big
just
deal.
the coaching, honestly, I kind of like just as a hey, no, you're not crazy. Those are the things that you need to work on. Those are the things you're doing well. Like you're in the right direction.
Yeah, yeah, I think that the stuff you were doing seemed like in immediately on seeing the game, it seemed like your head was kind of in the right place. You just have like some new player problems that like just kind of go away with time. Basically, it's just like
Mm,
some scrappiness
all right.
that like needs to sort of be rinsed off. But yeah, thanks a lot for talking. I'll see you later.
Mhm. All right. Yeah, we'll chat later. All
Yep,
right.
see ya.
Bye.